apart anymore. It's been a while.
Hi, y'all.
So,
We're back again. I'm Marianne, and this is Fawn, and she's trying to get her act together here, so I'll start us out. Welcome to number 36, Flosstube for Sanctum Stitching. Now, Fawn, you can take it over from there.
the only thing I'll add is that it's August 2nd, and it has been more than a month since our last video. It has been, I'll say, a very trying time in my life. So very thankful for all of you for waiting for us to be able to post a video when we have the time and space and capacity to do so. And we're just grateful that you're here with us. If you're new, this is a channel about cross stitch, embroidery,
knitting,
work, knitting. We talk about books, we talk about vintage things. Our cats show up constantly. Yes. And yeah, that's us. So since it's been a while, do you have any fun facts, or what are you celebrating, or what do you want to share about what's been going on with you?
Let's see, fun facts. We've got raspberries and blackberries blooming like crazy out in the backyard.
Oh, we'll have to come over. I'll be sneaking in your garden.
They're actually getting black, and the raspberries, the dogs are in onto their second batch of eating those. I'm grateful that you and I are back spending an afternoon together here. We talked for quite a while, y'all, before we even started.
Yeah, it was just under an hour.
Yeah, because we haven't, Fawn's not a phone talker. I'm a phone talker, but Fawn is,
I'll text you all day.
Yeah, you could text and my fingers will wear out, but my voice never will, unfortunately. Joe says, yeah, we could run a car on that.
No, and I'm the opposite. I talk too long and I'm like, oh, tired.
So that's what I'm grateful for, is we can be back together in person and share a little bit about what we've been doing. So, and what are you grateful for, sweetie?
I'm grateful for the same, that we're hanging out and filming this. I'm grateful for a new to me park. So over, if you're in the Northwest Ohio area, off of Monclova Road, in Monclova, so maybe 20-30 minutes outside of Toledo, there's a little pond that they dug out, and then they planted trees around there. They put a path, and it connects to the bike trail, and it's just under a mile to walk around that pond. And I saw 6. Oh, that's not 6. Okay. 6. It's been a while. Okay.
That's 10.
6 kingfishers.
Oh,
and they were all in one tree, and so I knew I wasn't double counting because they were all together, and it was so cool. So I don't know if it was just have to be on their flight path to wherever they were traveling. Maybe they were born there and they're like younger ones. Yeah. But oh man, I freaked out. And so then I sat, there's a bench there that overlooking the tree that they were in from the other side of the pond, and I probably sat there for an hour, and I was just like, kingfishers.
Those poor birds are thinking, that lady's watching us.
I am.
It was trying to have dinner, lady.
Well, yeah, they were eating dinner. They were swooping down and like taking stuff out of the water, and they have a very distinctive call, and it was cool. So that was something to celebrate. My biggest celebration, and because it's been so long, I forgot that I hadn't talked about it yet. I went to the Frogworts retreat, and that was at the middle of July. And I took time off of work for it. I participated in every single event, which this is the calendar. So each box is pretty much an event. And so there's a couple blank ones, but really it's not a blank schedule. And that was Wednesday through Sunday. And it was usually 9 a.m. till I logged off at 1 a.m. And so it was very long days, but it was a blast. Oh my goodness. We had stitching challenges, and this was hosted by the Black Needle Society. And I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about Frogworts a bit, but one of the cool things was we had stitching challenges, and Frogworts is Harry Potter based. So you would get a certain number of points if you stitched on an item that was related to the prompt, and you would get less points if you stitched on an item that was not. And then the points were based on how many stitches you get. So if you get 25 stitches or 50 stitches, whatever, that's so many points. And so for an example, Lockhart hires Valentine Cupid dwarfs to serenade the students. So for the challenge, you were asked to stitch on a piece that had a heart. You didn't have to actually stitch the heart, you just had to stitch on a piece that had a heart on it. Okay. And so you would take a picture of your before, your chart, and a picture of your after, post them, and you would count how many stitches you had to get your points. Another thing we did was, so you get, it seems like we get in such a groove with it that I actually, when the challenge was over, I picked up a piece on that Monday and I automatically took my start photo. And then I went to go post it. I was like, wait a second, there's no challenge. What am I trying to post this for? But it got so ingrained in me. Okay, I'm going to start a piece, take a photo, count my stitches. Where am I at? It was crazy. But then they had things like stash dives. So they would give you another list of prompts and you had to find things in your stitching room on charts or very specific stitching items, like project bags that had those things on it. Like a seagull or a beach ball or the word spring. And so that was a lot of fun to do. And then they had a digital version of that. But at the very end, what happened was they totaled all of the points that everybody got for your house and for yourself individually. And because it was Harry Potter themed, you won the house cup. And so what ended up happening was I got the most points out of everyone in the entire Frogwarts, which was like 258 people or something like that. Okay. I won, and my goodness, I won Frogwarts. So I am officially a competitive cross stitcher, is what we started calling it. Because all weekend we were competitively cross stitching, trying to get the most stitches against each other to get the most points. And so I actually went on a work lunch recently and they were like, oh, what did you do on your break? We never talked about it. I was like, I did something weird. I competitively cross-stitched and won.
They're all looking at you like, okay.
I was like, it's a real thing. I swear it's real. I'm not making it up. And one of them's like, they got stuff for everything now.
Yep.
I was like, they do. And so they asked me, they're like, well, what did you win? And honestly, the Black Needle Society is so generous. I got probably hundreds of dollars worth of prizes that's coming to me in the mail. Some of it was gift cards, some of it was Stitch related, some of it was Harry Potter related. And I will definitely make a post on Instagram and maybe I'll do like a separate video to show it on here, because if the box that I'm expecting, I'm going to take a while to go through, and I don't know that Marianne wants to sit through me. This is my Harry Potter thing. This is my Harry Potter thing. So I might do a separate video for it, or I'll just put it on
look at a few.
Yeah, and so I was hoping it would be here by the time we film, so I could show you guys at least a couple things now. But yeah, I am officially the year 2 winner for Frogwarts, and that's wild.
Where's the confetti? Woohoo!
Right? I knew I was stitching a lot and participating a lot, but you always think that that somebody else out there can stitch faster than you, can stitch more than you, whatever. So I didn't think, I hoped I would win, but I didn't really think like, oh, it's going to be me. And so just because everything has been so hard for me lately, it was so nice to get that win. I did that all on my own for me. And it felt really good. So if you have something in your life that you're going through, try to get some sort of win, even if it's competitive cross-stitching win, or a finish or whatever it is. It could really turn your season around, because it's been a season. And so it's a really nice highlight to have had.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
So on that note, we could get to the stitching.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have new starts, finishes, and whips.
Whips. Yes.
Do you have a new start?
I do. I started this piece. Remember, I showed y'all the pattern
Oh my goodness.
last time. So this is the Marshmallow Party.
That's the perfect fabric.
Yeah, it is. And it's by Twin Peaks Primitives. So that's going to be the Christmas pillow thing.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm almost
That's
through.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm almost through with that. And then another new start is this shawl pattern.
Oh, is that for yourself?
I'm not sure.
You should keep it. It looks like a lot of
I
work.
might. I have only started this thing over 5 or 6 times already.
That's a long needle.
Well, you start out with 95 stitches,
Oh.
and then you have to do so many, and then do a purl, and then 3 knits, and then another purl and stuff. And for 12 rows, each row is different.
No, of
So,
course.
and so 12 rows make one segment of it, make one piece. Now this is done, this is one side, and then you knit another side, and you knit them together to have the back of the thing. This is what it would look like.
Oh, it's
Here's the
beautiful.
front, and then this would be the back. So
Wow.
it's going to take a little while, but I try to work on it every now and then. So yes, that's a start also. And so those are the only 2 starts.
Only 2. You got so far.
This was kind of fun to do. I like the colors in it, but I'm doing it. It's really teeny tiny. You know, it's I sit on the porch. Fritzy's been helping Mama with this, but I do like the colors in it. It's
Yeah,
kind of
the
fun.
fabric is perfect. The colors really stand out on it.
Yeah, so we'll see how I can do. So there we
Do
go.
you think you want to frame it?
This is gonna make a pillow. It makes a
Oh.
pillow.
You know I'm all about the pillows.
Yeah, well, this is what the pattern is when it's finished.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, that came as a
make-
kit, right?
Yeah, it came as a kit, and I actually have this fabric over here, and I think it also included the rickrack. I'd have to go back.
Oh,
and
that'll
look.
be really cute.
So I'm hoping my brother and sister-in-law will like that. So there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a nice gift. I was thinking about how Fritz is going to want to sit on it.
Yeah, well, you know, that's why I don't know if you read in the newsletter from Denise. She asked us to, those of us who have pets for stitching buddies, to include some pictures. So I figured I would send one of Fritz maybe when he's little bitty helping Mama, when he's only a month or 2 old. And then when he's sitting on his tuffet, you
I
know.
was gonna say, you have to send a tuffet picture.
He can sit on his tuffet over there. So there we go. I forgot I did buy some things down at Craft Gallery, but they're over put away, and I'm not gonna. I did buy some more Blackbird charts.
Oh,
I
we'll have to show them next time then if we don't want to
I
fall.
like the Blackbird designs.
So I have a new start, but it turned into a finish. So I guess we can move to finishes, and I'll show you my new start and finish.
Okay.
And so it is the Frogwarts Year 2 pattern from Black Needle Society. And you could start it, I think, 2 weeks-ish. They gave you a password that you take the photo of your piece with the password to prove when you started it. And then you stitch, if you stitch it by the end of the retreat, you get a whole bunch of house points. I think it was like 100 house points or something.
Oh, wow.
And I finished it in time.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so cool. Now that's the one that you and Sarah she was already working on it. Is that right? You and Sarah, Memphis Sarah?
Yeah, we were working on the year 1
Okay.
sampler together. We both haven't finished that. And then I finished during the retreat for year 2. She didn't. I think she got tripped up on the burrow, if I remember. And
okay.
I get that because the burrow, like nothing is, it looks like it's just big chunks of stuff, but really it's tons of counting, and it's pretty heavy full stitching. So I get that. When I started this pattern, I started with the spider in the middle just so I could start counting down to the snake. And I think that's what really helped me at the retreat was I had the whole snake done, or pretty much done, before the retreat started. I think it was done. And that's a huge portion of the pattern. And so then the rest is sort of more fun.
Gives you an idea, where things go too.
Exactly. So that really helped me. And I'm not sure if it's coming up here in the snake. It says enemies of the air beware. So that's a big phrase in the year 2. And then the hardest part was this stinking border. Which, surprise, surprise. If you're new here, I don't do borders well. But so the only thing that really saved me doing this border and getting it done was because this is what I mostly worked on during the stitching challenges. I would just thread up the 2 color needles or just one, and for an hour straight, I would just try to get as many stitches as I could on the border. And then that was easy to count my stitches, and it made me keep going with it. Whereas I would do that cauldron or the tree or whatever, no problem any other time, but I would sit there and ignore the border. So the stitching challenge worked out for me for that.
Good for you.
So
I like that fabric. I like the color of the fabric too, and it's got some pinks in it and stuff.
Yeah, it is. Oh darn, I can't remember. It's the called for fabric on the pattern.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I don't have it over here.
Well, that's okay. You can.
I don't remember. It's the called for, and
it looks
the
nice.
shop I had ordered it from originally wasn't going to get it in time. Oh, I think it's Seraphim Fabrics.
Okay.
But I can't remember the actual name. So I had to order it from a different shop, and thankfully I got it in time to start stitching early, and it was great. But yeah, so that's going to be finished into a drum. That's how the Black Needle Society finished theirs, and I thought it was really cute. So eventually I'll be brave enough to try to make a drum, and this will be finished, but that might be a while.
That won't be difficult for you at all.
Yeah, I was thinking about how I have to finish. I have my Halloween piece from last year. That was a Clouds Factory piece, and it's supposed to be made into a banner. And I was like, oh, I'll finish that in time, or fully finish that in time for Halloween next year. And I haven't looked at it since last Halloween. So I really need to get that finished so I can put it up this Halloween.
Yes.
So then I have 3 more finishes. The first one is this Mill Hill.
Oh, cute.
Mushroom. It's a magnet, and that's going to go to my mom. So surprise, Mom. Although when you saw the mushroom, you probably shouldn't have been surprised. I really like the shading on the stalk here. There's a little ladybug charm and definitely a cat hair, of course. But this was fun. I got through this because I was doing Mill Hill Monday. And so I was only working on it once a week. And that was the only thing I worked on that Monday. And it actually made these go by a lot faster. So if you're on Instagram, it's #MillHillMonday.
Okay.
So then the next finish was a retreat finish. I finished it during Frogworks. And it is my scissor roll, Autumn Scissor Roll by Just Man. So you put your scissors in there, and I'll unwind it so you can see, but.
Oh, okay.
And it goes with this mouse that I finished a while ago. So she just kind of like sits up there.
And Wally lets her, huh?
Yeah, actually, I've got 3 of those mice over there, and he's never looked at them. So I don't know. I lucked out.
Fritzy would want to see, does it move? Oh, that's pretty, Fawn.
Yeah. So they have one for each season. Here's these ones. So I have all 4 of them, and I'm not sure which one I want to start next. I should start winter because that's the next in a row, but we'll just see which one calls to me. But I like all the little mice, and the crows are stitched over one. So that was that was interesting, different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some beading on there you can kind of see
Very nice.
on the edges. And then a grape.
Well, except for the fact that that rolls up, it's almost like a drum when you've got the shape to it. You know,
Yeah.
you've done some of those, I mean, that they weren't rolled, and that's like what a drum is.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay once I like read an instruction on it, you
Oh,
know.
you'll be fine. You always are. Yeah, you get it and she does it, you know. Oh, okay. Me, I have to read it several times and think about it.
I had to read so many times. And then the first time I made one of these mice, I wanted to quit because like I didn't really hand sew before that. And so the first mouse I ever did was the biggest headache ever. But now that I've done a mouse, it makes total sense to me. Yeah, so if you're ever wanting to stitch one of these mice and you don't know what you're doing because the instructions are just like not clicking, let me know. I'll help. I've got 3 done so far, so I have a little bit of experience. But yeah, I love this. I think it's super cute.
That's cute. Very nice.
And he is very plump. Look at that thing.
He's a cute mouse. He's got a pumpkin inside. That's from eating all those pumpkins.
He does have a pumpkin inside. Yes. Oh man. So then my last finish is by From Nancy's Needle. Is my, I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's Autumn Scene. Here it is.
That turned out pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. There's velvet in the teepee, so that had some really cool texture. It really came out well. And so the only thing I would change is you can't really see the glitter in it too much. In here, there is a Krynic, I think a Krynic or a Rainbow Gallery metallic gold. That's the same that's here. Yeah. But it was easier for me to count by putting the gold in first than putting this stitch in. And so I think if I did it again, I would put these stitches in first and then put the gold, because the gold kind of got covered up a little bit by the Karen watercolors. Yeah.
Okay.
Which a little, not too much, but a little bit, but definitely not enough that I want to restitch over it or take it out, because that was a border.
Yes. Yeah.
I think my husband and I, we watched Survivor when we stitched, and I think the border was an entire season of Survivor. So if that gives you any reference. And because I'm Frog Wars champ, you know, I'm a pretty fast stitcher. So if that took me a whole season, that's saying something. But yeah, I like it a lot. I'm gonna frame this. I just have to find a weird size frame, because I don't really want to pay for like a custom frame. So I'll find something eventually for it.
Yeah.
Next is whips.
Well,
do you have any works in progress?
Are we doing finishes later then? Because I do have I did.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, show your finish.
I do have a finish. See, it's a little, let me hold it up right. There it is.
Wow.
Needle minder.
Look at your little bee.
I know, I got 3 of them. See my little bees?
They're cute.
Yeah. It's by Laura Bateman. And I have a book of her, Lorna Bateman, I'm sorry. We did the class out at Diane's house. Phone was there too. And
I'm not finished yet.
Everybody, you know, you could just kind of stitch it how you wanted to. We had a pattern of sorts because we had to use the light that you lay the fabric on and then that shines up through it and stuff. And I started it out there and I didn't like what I had done. So I took that out and started over, and liked how it turns. A lot of French knots, and a lot of stem stitch. And I'm really pleased with how let me get it up here just right. I kind of like how the pink flowers came out, and I really was happy with the bees. And then
Yeah,
these are supposed to be like hollyhocks along in here. Since all of
they look
ours are
like it.
down. Yeah, since all of ours are down in the yard now. And I even have something that looks a little bit like an iris. So this is her first book that she came out with.
Isn't
And
that
I was
gorgeous?
looking today. Yeah, I hadn't done anything out of this book in all honesty, but I found this where it was just A to Z of garden flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different versions of what's on this particular one. And she's very good. She's written another book that just came out recently. But I mean, just the little things in this are just, here's a beautiful garden gate. Am I
Hold
holding
it
it
up a
all
little
right?
bit. Hold it. Yeah, there you go. To your left.
To my left.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
I like the crows.
Yeah, I mean, there's just all sorts of things in here. And once again, it's just a beautiful book to look at. That's what a lot of, but she also has examples of stitches. So you can see how to do a certain stitch.
It's a really
And
good
that's all.
diagram too.
Yeah, that's always helpful. So
Absolutely.
I just, I loved the book. Oh, here's a page. It's all sorts of styles of sizes. You got tote bags, you got all sorts of little, pillows and everything. One of the members, Irene, said, I'm beginning to like smalls because it's something you can do and it actually gets done kind of quickly there. So, well, depending on what you choose to do. But anyway, I was proud of myself because I did get that done.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I didn't get the, it's got a little magnet inside and I didn't get it attached quite right, but that's why it rolls around. So it'll hold the needle. I don't care really. Then you could attach a magnet to the back and then it would stay glued, stay on your fabric. I really don't care if it stays on the fabric. If it just holds the needle, if I need it to, that's fine. But I just think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I forgot to bring mine over to show my progress on it. So maybe Marianne will have inspired me and I'll get it done by our next time.
Next time. And then you're talking about works in progress almost. I went back to my Susan B. Anthony because I've been just letting it be finished almost. And I wanted to add the 1920 to 2020. So I got that on there up here. And then I decided to put her name in over here. And then I decided I need the date here. So I've got to do the word August. And Annette was by here the other night and she suggested, she was saying, well, I was thinking of putting 19th AMD in here and not have the August thing. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, well, let's put AUG or spell out August if I can. And then I can put 19th Amendment up here, up above all of this, get it in the middle kind of. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Or if you wanted to, you could put that wording on the bottom. And so then you have wording on the top and wording on the bottom.
Yeah, that's true. I could. I had more space up here at the top, I think, but yeah, I could.
I think you would have enough room, especially if it's the same font that you used at the top.
Yeah. I'll see how it works. I'm real good at ripping, at frogging or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Got pretty good at that. Rip, rip, rip. So, but that I'm doing that 1/1. I mean, 2/1. I'm using two strands, but over one.
Over one stitching is just so hard.
It is, but I've been real pleased with how it looked because I don't usually stitch over one. I've been real pleased that it actually turned out. And this fabric is I think it's a Jobelin, and it's so soft. It is so soft. So anyway, this is going to be made into a pillow. I have the backing now to do it, to send it to my sister for her birthday. And Joe was saying, well, it'd be nice if you could put that in our show that we're going to have, our festival with the I said, well, I could take a picture of it, send it to Midge and say, this is coming to you for your birthday, but it's not going to get there till after the end of October. Her birthday's the first week of September. So it would be a while before she gets it. But maybe she wouldn't mind because I think it might look nice.
She probably liked the idea that it was in a show and then she got it.
Yeah, she might. That's true. So that's everything I've done. That's my new work on the Susan B. That's my progress on the marshmallow party, my start for the shawl, and my needle minder was my finish.
Yeah, see, look at how much you had.
And my book is my vintage, besides me.
Oh, okay.
That, and I did post a picture on our, we had some people in our stitch along group that wanted to see the bassinet that was my mother's, you know, so I posted that on our Facebook page for the group. I'm not lugging the thing back here into the den. It's not real heavy, but it's cumbersome enough. So sorry, y'all, if I get my energy up.
Fritz was in it, wasn't he too?
Well, he was in that picture. We've actually, when we bought when we moved from the condo to this house, we wound up bringing Ozzy in the same week we moved in. He was only like 8 weeks old, and somebody brought him to the vet's office, and we wound up bringing him home. So Eartha took to her bed, as we called it, the bassinet. Eartha just went and stayed there. She'd get out to pee, poop, and eat, and that was it. She was in the bassinet for a while because she didn't like that we moved, and she didn't like having this kitten that came up, and he managed to. He would want to play with Eartha. And not Eartha, I'm sorry, it was Boosie. Eartha was tolerant, Boosie was not. And he wound up scratching Caboose's eye. And so Boosie stayed in the thing for quite a bit because she had to have medicine on her eye and stuff. So yeah, I get them all. How many cats have I now had? Fritzy's the 6th cat. So it's like I'm lucky to remember my name. But yes,
right.
We got Eartha later. So there you go. That's it for me. That's it.
I think you got a lot done this month.
Well, thank you. It has been a month. I've been trying.
So I've been working on Clouds Factory. There's no Planet B. The August clue just dropped, but I didn't print that out yet, so I can only show you up until July.
Okay.
And so I am now working on the gorilla and the stork.
Okay.
But it's really starting to come together now. So it's just a gorilla, and the gorilla is critically endangered. The crane is a whooping crane, which is endangered. I also will show you that I stitched the pygmy hippopotamus and the gharial. So the gharial is the crocodile looking thing. What makes it this specific one and not more of just like a crocodile alligator is it has this really long nose with like a bubble on it, or a bobble. I think it's actually the crocodile that was depicted in Peter Pan. So if you look back at the animated Peter Pan, you'll notice the really long snout and then sort of the round tip on it.
Yeah.
And then I also did the Antarctic blue whale and the hawksbill turtle. That was from a couple months back, so I can't remember if I showed it or not.
Yeah, you did, but that's okay. Show them again.
Anyway. So the whale, the turtle. I like to show these because then you can actually see the stitched version and see how well they did.
Yeah.
The hippopotamus, which, oh my goodness, it's even sticking its tongue out. Like, my goodness. The gharial, so you can really see that long snout.
Yeah.
The gorilla and the whooping crane.
Okay. I like it that you do those that are the animal related or seas or, air and, all sorts of ecological.
Yeah, and they've done such a good job charting these. So there's the whale, the turtle, the hippopotamus, and the gharial. And then right above the hippopotamus is where the crane will go. And right above the gharial is where the gorilla will go. And
Oh.
so I'm hoping to get those done this month and then be able to get August done before September. I was doing good, keeping up with it, you know, and then March Madness happened and then I fell behind and I've been playing catch up ever since, but I'm getting kind of close. And so there is all of it so far.
Very nice.
So like I said, it's really starting to fill in.
Yeah. I like the colors, Fawn. They look good on the white, that background, because they really show.
Yeah, and it's not coming across. It's like a light blue.
Light blue, that's what I was thinking.
Almost
yeah. Okay.
like
I see. Yeah.
Like sky blue. And so it's almost white. And I was I wasn't so sure when I saw the coral was hot pink and yellow, but I think it's working because it's adding enough color, but not distracting from the animals.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been a fun one. And I recently saw on Instagram, and I totally forget their name. So if you're watching, I'm sorry. A total space cadet lately. I inspired them to buy the SAL halfway through the year, and so they just stitched the first part. And so I was so excited to see that I influenced somebody.
That's nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Oh, I've still got Grimm fairy tales in the living room, all kitted up. It's kitted.
Well, maybe you'll want to do it in January, so you can do it monthly.
Yeah, I could. That's
start at the beginning.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to start my Gay Ann Rogers hearts now this month.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, Joe says,
That'd
when are
be
you going to do those hearts? So,
which one are you going to start with?
I don't know. I just want to get them all on the little stretcher bars, you know, and then I'll start. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll pick one.
So then I worked on Frogwarts Year 1.
Yeah.
And that's by the Black Needle Society. And I just worked on the border. So trying to get that done, which you can't really see the color.
Oh, I see.
You can kind of see the colors.
Yeah.
Trying to work my way through on that. Because I feel like once this is done, that's the hard part, right? Mm-hmm. So I need a stitching challenge to get me to do this. So Sarah had sent me a picture after the challenge of one of the pieces she was going to work on. And so she sent me a picture, worked on it for an hour, and then sent me another picture of it to show me what she had got done in an hour. And this is Memphis Sarah E. So follow her on Flosstube and Instagram. So Sarah, maybe I need to send you a picture of this and do my own stitching challenge so you can hold me accountable for this border.
That's a neat idea. It really is.
Yeah, it really helps too, because you want to send somebody like an update where they can really see the difference. So if anybody is on Instagram and wants to do something like that, totally send me your before and your after picture. I love watching those sort of things progress. So if you want to be held accountable by me gushing over your projects and saying, you go girl, or guy, you go.
Talk to me a little bit about this other stitcher thing that's going on right now.
The common threaded stitcher?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is a August challenge, and it's sponsored by Kia B, Tech Guy in the Hive, Pam and Staff, Liz Matthews, Sam Bree Stitches, and I think there's maybe Jennifer Lee. There's like 4 more people. Yeah. And so if you follow the Common Threaded Stitcher, they list a prompt every day. And so you just screenshot the prompt and then post a picture or whatever it is related to that prompt. And so I have it up here so I could pull it up quick. Yesterday was just to introduce yourself, post a selfie so people can see what you look like.
Yeah.
And because it's the Common Threaded Stitcher, the idea is to find connections with people that, like, if I see another stitcher that says they like hiking, then I can go chat with them about hiking and stitching. And so I think I should have been more descriptive in my post, but I felt felt weird having a public Instagram account and like laying out my life of like, I like this and I like that. So I kept it really basic. But some people did get really, really detailed about what they like and what they do. Today, because it's August 2nd, it's to share your stitching space. So just a picture of that. They have things on here like your pattern stash, your favorite book, a new floss tuber, a fictional place you want to visit, your needle minders, a new stitching friend that you made.
That's the list down the side on the thing there that they tell you about it somewhat. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I've looked at that. Yeah.
And so then they give you the hashtag to use and who to tag. And if you follow that hashtag, you can see like, or just click on it, you could see all the posts come in each day. And so I think it'll be kind of fun. I did the first day. I probably won't be able to keep up with it. I haven't posted today and it's like 6 o'clock.
Well, we need to finish up so you can.
So I probably won't keep up with it every day, but it's fun to do on the days that you remember to do it, you know? And so, that's a fun August challenge that's going on if you're on Instagram and interested and want to participate. And so I have 2 more whips, 2 meaning 4 apparently, just 2. And the first one is Hawk Run Hollow, and it's the underwater chart. During the stash dives, I misplaced my Hawk Run Hollow cover page because I kept using that for different prompts. And so now it's got shoved somewhere, put away, because after the stash dives, it's a mess. And if I remember, I'll post a photo at the end of what my living room looked like afterwards. And so I don't have a picture to show you what this should look like, but it says, we are afraid. I have the start of the mermaid, working my way through the boat. I have some of the flags in and the sails, but this whole thing is pretty much full coverage. So across it will be blue stitching here. And I think just the top sky is left blank, but from here down or so, I think is all filled in with blue. So I'm trying to get all the little motifs in first, and then we'll need a stitching challenge to get me just to go back and forth with the blue.
Is it supposed to be under the ocean or something, or the? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be the boat is sinking.
Sinking. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so there's like some skulls down here. I think a treasure chest, an anchor that'll be down there. Now, and then you have the waves at the top. Yeah, it would really help if I could find my picture.
Old lady moment.
Yeah. And then the last one is Northern Tranquility. And this is by Sin Sun's cross stitching. I am just stitching the ducks out of here for my dad. And I've been thinking about if I want to do the reflection of the ducks underneath, but I think I'm just going to do the actual ducks and just try to get them lined up. So this is a beast. It's going to take me forever. This is a couple days worth of stitching, and it looks like absolutely nothing. But there are so many colors in here. There's grays and blues and blacks and different purples, and you can't tell a thing. There's probably also tons and tons of cat hair. Oh, good, it's showing up.
Yeah, it's showing up real well.
Here. I'm like trying to look.
It's showing up just fine.
So I have gotten, I think it's like 5 blocks on a page roughly done. It's gonna take a while. And because I'm just stitching the ducks, I don't really have a good point of reference. So usually with full coverage, you start in the corner and then you can see the diagonal build. And so I'm just really hoping that I got the ducks portion correct and it's centered right and it's gonna work. because maybe dad'll just get one of the ducks and not all of the ducks. We'll just have to see how this grows and if it ends up fitting and working right. But I'm trying to do this maybe once a week for just one day, focus on it, like almost like the Mill Hill Monday day, and just get some stitches in until I get sick of chasing my stuff all over the place. But I'm not usually a full coverage stitcher, so this has been pretty difficult for me to have no breaks, but at least things are lining up the way they're supposed to currently, so that's a good sign.
Good.
So then the last thing is haul and vintage, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any
vintage,
haul?
I don't have any haul. I'm waiting on some. And the vintage, the Bateman book can be not real vintage, but it's nice, vintage looking pieces, let's say that.
I was going to ask if your earrings were your vintage, because those look really cool.
I have had them since before I moved up here, so I guess they could be, because they're more than 20. I bought these in Memphis, and I've been up here 31 years. So yes, I guess they could be. And they look kind of like under the ocean or something.
Oh, those are cool.
Under the sea. So thank you. Yes, and I got them at a something like we have the Crosby Festival up here. It was a festival in Memphis. So yes, they're the vintage, and my pearls are vintage. So
yeah. Nice.
Yes, but we do have some vintage on. Yes, and I wanted them. I almost put on some pearl-like earrings, and I thought, well, let me see, these ought to go nicely with this outfit today. So
yeah, I think they stand out like just enough, but also kind of the blue seems very, the light blue seems the perfect shade.
I used to have a dress that was actually this blue, and I would wear them with that. And one day up at the courthouse, the mailman, it's when we had the mailman come in to after a while they didn't, but he would come to every floor and every place, and he said, oh, we can tell you know how to dress. He said, look at those earrings too. He said, I love them. He said, you're always so stylish. So there we go. I try.
Yeah, I'm always interested to see what earrings you're going to show up with. I have some fabric for my haul, and I'm brushing cat hair off it currently, because when Marianne and I were talking for that first hour, Wally was just back and forth, and at one point he flopped on the fabric, he flopped on the projects, everything went flying, and I had to like pick up the whole camera and tilt it to show Marianne, and he's just like laying there kneading, totally happy and oblivious to the destruction he just caused. So on that note, I'm brushing some cat hair off here. So this is a 32 count coloring cotton fabric, and it is from the July fabric of the month. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, look away.
Look away.
It is called Orange Soda, and it is so bright. Look at that thing.
That is bright.
I say that's pretty true. Maybe it's a little lighter in person, but really very similar to that. So that'll be a Halloween piece. I was glad it wasn't purple fabric, because I feel like I kept getting purple from them. And then this one is Harvest Moon, which is very lightly modeled. You can kind of see it. But I think that'll be a fun one, because I don't usually buy neutral colored fabrics. So this will be a nice different thing for me to have. And then my Bestitch Me fabric of the month, also from July, which I just got this one in the mail. So it might be more likely that somebody else doesn't have this one yet. So if you don't, just take this moment and mute us or look away or whatever you're gonna do, because I don't want to spoil it. So this one is called Succulent, and it's a 28 count linen, but it's got like, you can kind of see it, light blues, very, very light blue, and lots of green. And so it definitely looks like that succulent blue-green color that you can see. And you can kind of tell there. It looks white on camera, but really it's like a gray, light blue. And now I can't fold it. Marianne, if you're saying something, I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted. You
It's
want to be
pretty
muted?
fun. That was, I muted myself purposely and then forgot.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, oh, she doesn't like these colors. Okay.
Oh, I do. That's really pretty. I like the green especially. I think that's kind of neat, the succulent, and I like that other one that you're not used to, the lighter shades, but I think that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy to be in both of these clubs still. I feel like this month I really started to get something different again, so that's exciting. And we'll see what shows up in August.
Well, yeah, because there was that. Is that the one that you were kind of concerned they kept sending something that looked?
Yeah, the
similar?
color and cotton, I felt like I kept getting a type of green and a purple. And I think I have maybe at least 3 of the purples at this point, and they're slightly different, but they're still like one color, you know?
Yeah.
So orange and tan are very different, so that was nice. And then the Stitch Me, I had gotten like two goldeny yellow orange ones, and they weren't back to back, but still within this year. So it's nice to get green from her, which is totally different than the green I had gotten from Color and Cotton.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Oh, I have one last thing to show. So
we want you to be happy.
Yes.
We want you to be happy.
So in the Needle Arts Guild of Toledo, I am the program chair. I like to refer to myself as the program director because that sounds real fancy to me. So when work asks what I do outside, I'm always, or like a fun fact or whatever, I'm always like, oh, I'm program director for the Needle Guild Arts of Toledo.
Yes.
And they're always like, oh, you're a director. I'm like, yeah. Yes. I manage the programs.
There you go. Well, you do.
So I am going to teach a class on stump work. And this is just a mock-up using the butterfly from my Stumpworks tree stump that I had shown a while back. But I'm going to stitch a whole new butterfly, teach people how to stitch a butterfly, which I've only ever stitched one, so hopefully that turns out okay. We've got some people in our group that really know how to do stump work, so hopefully they'll help me with this as I stumble my way through.
No, they're going to let you flounder around.
You know, they might.
I don't think so.
And then they'll step in, but they'll let me flounder first. So I found these I came up with this idea and I found little planters at Michael's and I found moss. And so I glued the moss onto the planter and then just stuck my butterfly in there. And it's so cute. The butterflies we're stitching are going to be slightly bigger than this, so it'll really fill it in. There's another cat hair.
Well, he's everywhere. He's everywhere.
It really is everywhere. I need to like vacuum the air. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how this turns out in September and November. So whenever I'm done, I'll report back. But yeah, I was excited about it because I just had this idea of, oh, we could do a butterfly and stick it in a pot. And so originally I had gotten little planters and then styrofoam balls to put on the inside. But then I found these ones that had the foliage and the styrofoam already. So that's saving some money and some hassle. But then added the moss and I'm excited about it. So hopefully you think that's cool too.
Yeah. Very nice.
On that note, I don't think we have anything else for you. And leave us comments down below. Let us know what you enjoyed, what you've been working on, what's going on with you, you know, the whole thing. We're excited to be back. And I know it's been a little more than a month this time. So hopefully for September, we can try to be right around a month. I think, at least for me, the month schedule works pretty good right now. I think that works for you too. Yeah. So eventually maybe we'll go back to bi-weekly or 3 weeks or whatever. But for now, this is what we got to do to have a show. And yeah. So
well, I think I did this last year when we finished. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to tell them about all the stuff at the bottom? If they're interested or looking for things, you'll list your
Oh, yeah.
fabrics and stuff.
If you have any questions about any of the things
Yeah.
that we talked about, some of the things like the fabric that I forgot, just leave a comment and then I'll go find it. I don't want to type out a whole description box if nobody's going to look at it, but if you have a question, more than happy to go look up that pattern, look up that fabric, or help in any way we can. Like, subscribe, and if you want to join our Facebook group, it's Stitching Friends Across Borders Sal. There's a link for it down below. Really, it's super informal, and it started off with the Susan B. Anthony stitch along, and now it's just us when we have time or somebody wants to, just sharing photos of your progress, and just a different way to connect more personally than you can through a YouTube chat. Right. So we'll either see you there or we'll see you on Instagram at Sanctum Stitching.
That's right. So we'll see you in September. We'll see you in the fall. I think I did this last year. So
you did.
Darling, don't forget something. Anyway, that can at least do the first few notes there. So we'll see y'all in September then, hopefully.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.